Thank you for listening. That was Autumn Leaves, Chet Baker, Paul Desmond. Tonight, things are going to make your skin crawl. Things that go bump in the night. Those things that you can't even put the wind to. Those things that crawl with 8 legs. You know what I'm talking about. Especially for the ladies. Well, get ready because there's going to be more than Requiem to be had. You're not listening to Team Time Radio. In fact, nothing's going to make your skin crawl than this next story. It begins on a train, and it's not narrated by me. But that was Paul Desmond, Chet Baker, Autumn Leaves. Sometimes I feel in the spring, it feels like autumn anyway. Without cold, and I don't even know where this is going. Just peter out. Charles Mingus, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. And what else we got? Dave Brubeck, Take 5. We didn't know where to take it from here, but here we go. We're gonna play Pork Mingus. You ever feel like a vampire waking up on a day pass? Well, Charles Mingus will wake you up. Some say life is a tragedy waiting to strike. Some say it's around the corner. I say it belongs in your fridge. Because you don't know if that thing's cold, out of date, or just out to get you. I'm sorry to fool you, but Bob Dylan isn't on display tonight. This isn't Teen Time Radio. Let me just reduce the volume there. Sorry to interrupt the... I'm even speaking like... Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt the stream of consciousness that was happening there. A real symphony of orchestras or whatever. But I promised, I made my allegiances known. I made a promise to the people. I made a pact. You ever make a pact with someone? A blood bond? I just wanted to say the word blood bond today. A blood pact. And you smother somebody's thumb with their thumb and they go... Well, you're going to see a lot of that tonight because I have procured, and by procured I mean some fucker delivered a hand-signed note and package, and it said, on delivery of said product, one must sign one's signature, and they take a photo of you while holding said package while you are in your slippers. So don't go slipping around, you know, we're all just dust in the wind. If Bob Dylan was around, he's still around. Someday I won't be around, someday he won't be around, but I have made a promise, and I like to keep my promises broken as plain glass. I feel like a lot of sayings, like, there was a saying I had that someone said today, and I don't know what it was, I can't remember now. You see, it helps to remember and write these things down so that you're not stuck mid-sentence trying to think, what is it? And you're ruining the beautiful music that's at display. Because if there's anything people don't want, is to be interrupted, especially when they're listening to something nice and beautiful, struck down in its prime. I'm not here to deliver you something nice. I'm only here to deliver you something painful and hard to digest. Whatever that thing was earlier, it will return to me. Because there's like a really funny thing that everybody can relate to. And it's one of those things I've forgotten. It doesn't matter how many times, like, you put it in a book. Like, some books are like, how to not kill, to kill a mockingbird. That's what it was. Harper Lee. Supposed to be studying her when most people just say, she related to fucking Bruce Lee? No? But there's many people's names that stick out for one reason or another, and hers was that. But throughout the whole book, you never learn how to kill an actual mockingbird. It just gets to mock away at you. But here are some words of gold. I like to call them, some people call them pearls of wisdom. I like to call them words of gold, because I feel like gold is more valuable than fucking pearls. Any advice I tell you, it's only advice. You have to live the fucking advice. Like, it doesn't matter how much, like, little sayings or pearls of wisdom I'm throwing at you. If you're deaf, if it falls on deaf ears, it's fucking useless. I put that shit in Braille and you still wouldn't get that either, you know what I mean? But here's a little anecdote. People call them anecdotes, I call them stories. But once upon a time, let me tell you, we'll knock it off for Charles Mingus here in a sec though. And the silence has been desecrated. I think I know a suitable replacement. This is to prove to you.
Don't tell me.
This guy's 100 years old. I'm not watching that. I'll be 100 years old someday too. With any luck. I always try to come to these things pre-prepared. And I wonder what's the word? Not due diligence, the preconception. You know that thing? Where before conception you got the preconception? And people don't wear that thing, and then babies are made. It's the rubber's fault. Now, before I tell you my story, let's put on some Brian Eno.
little fun fact about this: it's music designed for airports. So I'm treating this like I'm at an airport, at a train station. It's meant to be interruptible music in case they do there's like a fucking emergency or something. They're gonna blow up the airport. Now I realize that might sound a bit out of place, especially with the visuals on the screen. If you please avert your eyes from the visuals on the screen, and I invite you into my tender, loving world of the locomotive industry, because we want to live in the present. We all like a little. We like. Some people don't like the journey. They just want to get to the destination, and I can't blame them, because many times I've been on a train and somebody breathes wrong, or they have some like food that emanates some fucking rancid smell, or people are just downright horrible. So this story encompasses all of that. So let me try. Now, it's not a joke. This actually happened. It's a story. Okay? Like I said, anecdotes. But let's get to brass tacks. So, how sometimes a girl will say a guy's like really funny, even though like he's not even a drop in the ocean, like hilarious? Like they say, like, because he's like sort of half like Jekyll, half Heidi, So I'm on this train, and I get a nice clean boot to myself, and I'm sitting backwards to the actual way it's supposed to go. But for some reason, I don't feel dizzy or anything. You know what I mean? I'm just happy looking at the sights, through the you see a tree, bush, and I look out at the sights. But I'm looking at the window like one of them movies where like a scene's like about to unfold. Well, anyways, the train stops and this character, oh boy, this character comes on, and he sits opposite me, and it's a real James like Joyce kind of looking guy with his big optics, his like goggles. He's got really giant goggly glasses. So I'm trying to like listen to a thing on my phone, and it's like an interview of some Tom Snyder thing, and it's like an interview, right? And he's fake sneezing, like signal, like a fart or something, and he's making fun of his guest. And I'm just looking outside the window, to look like in the movies like forlongingly, still, But things suddenly shift, It's like pitch black. So I only like see the reflection of like the guy now, and I don't want to be looking at the reflection of some speckly guy. I mean, some would, but look, and then it occurs to me, he looks like the guy from the 6 o'clock fucking news, which is odd. He's like, it bears a striking resemblance, like a haunting specter of the idiot box. So this, there's a girl in the story. I forgot there was a girl in the story. She says like the usual line, like I can't do a good girl voice. I just have to like listen to whatever the fuck this is. She goes, ha ha ha, you're so funny, to this guy she was like opposite with, from another table. And how sometimes like these compliments, they get to people's head or balls, or I mean their brains. Well, I think something got messed up, because then he goes, I really love eating babies. And she just goes silent, stone silent. And you hear a pin drop in the carriage, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think any delivery, like his delivery didn't matter, because the least thing a lady wants to hear is anything involving infants in like peril, So do you remember the Specky guy? He gets up and he's just this towering, lanky, almost kind of like a lycanthrope or whatever you call them, like a werewolf on his hind fucking legs. He's so tall, he's like a dinosaur. So he brushes past the table, and he goes, just to let you hags know, the cauldron's finished. And then so he storms off, and this guy's furious, he's mad and he's embarrassed. So he goes over to show him, like he's trying to like thump him in the face, punch him, fuck him up. But the doors close, and all you see is this like towering figure with his old style hat and one of those like 1910 like coats, and So anyway, the other guy's banging on the door, you know, to get him, and there's nothing he can do. But there's no joke. It's a story. Just isn't it weird? Like some guys will say, "I cackled," and he's not a witch.
Welcome aboard this southeastern service to
Horsham, calling at Waterloo East, London Bridge, Norwood Junction, East Croydon, Purley, Coulsdon South, Merstham, Redhill, Gatwick Airport, Three Bridges, Crawley, Ifield, Faygate, Littlehaven, and Horsham.
Now, I haven't ever been to Horsham or any of that shit. Or what was that?
Crawley, Ifield.
Crawley? Fucking crawl at a snail's pace trying to get to my destination. Fucking Crawley. And you never think that like a train's gonna like derail or anything. A bit like the stream. But isn't that what life's about? You don't know if it's gonna work out or not. We're all just dust blowing in the wind anyway. Fucking sometimes you cry, sometimes you don't. You know, it's all like a dream anyway. It only goes in one fucking direction. A lot of days are just fucking mundane, you know? And I'm not gonna break character or nothing, but do you remember when the first time you'd go to like a friend's house and it's all fun and games and you're like really enjoying it, and then after a while things kind of turn a bit sour, a bit weird. It's like you started noticing the smell of the house. You started noticing the parents, you know, your friend's mom and dad, you're talking, and the way they interact is different than your parents, and everything just seems like slightly off, you know. It's not like your life. And then after dinner, you know, that was fucking weird. Like the dinner tasted weird, and you want to say, you don't want to be, you can be honest with your parents. You're like, this is shit, you know, I don't fucking want to eat that shit. But with your friends, you know, you want to keep on good terms, you know, otherwise you'd be fucking lonely. No one wants to be that, you know. So after 7 or 8 o'clock or whatever fucking time these guys go to bed early, and for lack of a better word, so your mother, you know, your mom, she appears at the door and she knocks and she's there, and she's got her coat on. Everything. She's like, "Come on, let's get the fuck out of here." And what is this shit? Is Metal Gear Solid? Is this Psycho Mantis? It's supposed to be Brian Eno. Sorry about that. I didn't mean the demonic fucking ghost to come in mid-story. Ruin the tranquility. So, your mother appears at the door, you know. And she's like, "Come on, like, we need to get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I know I left you here to have fun, and I know you had your fun, but it's weird now. Like, come on." Like, she's there to rescue you, you know what I mean? And I think in life, there's something beautiful about rescuing someone from the situation you put them in. Especially climbers, you know, those rocky fucking mountain climbers. I'm gonna go to Kilimanjaro, and I'm gonna fucking survive this hell. And you're like, you didn't have to pay the 15,000 quid ticket to go, you know. You have a choice. You don't have to always put your life in peril to feel alive, you know what I mean? Just why can't you just be like docile, like, you know, like the rest of us, you know? Well, welcome to the stream, Cassium. Or is it Cass? Call you Cass? Or is it Cassie for short? Now, I have to put down the foot because I was let down last year when I was streaming Silent Hill, and it wasn't that the stream was silent or anything, but it turned out it was a fucking filthy bot. You ever get that? You think you're talking to a human and you're like, oh, I wasted like an hour talking to a fucking robot. You know, those things don't even fucking have hearts. You know, they don't even have fucking beating fucking like blood. Do you ever think about your blood going through your veins and shit? And you sometimes I forget I think I'm like a camera, you know? Now, the next part is you gotta make sure that you're not a scammer, right? You're not gonna ask, do I need art or something? I hope you're not one of them artists that are like, do you need art? That was another thing that happened. Welcome back to the train.
Faygate, Littlehaven, and Horsham.
Check this out.
The next train to depart from platform 7 will be the 1700 Southeastern service to Hastings via Tunbridge Wells. Calling at London Bridge, Sevenoaks, Tunbridge.
Another thing is, you ever be on a train or something, and then they're calling out like the different like fucking places and shit, and you're like, I'm not going to Roberts Bridge. Who gives a fuck about Roberts Bridge? And then you'll hear somebody on the train because like they're with their friends and you're with yours, and like, yeah, we're getting off at Roberts Bridge. Come on, let's get off this fucking train. I want to go to fucking Leonard's Warrior Square or whatever, Hastings. Yeah, I don't want to fucking. We don't fraternize with any old, you know, fuckers, you know. We're different. We go to St. Leonard's, so we're not going to Roberts Bridge. And then you're like, I think I'm on the wrong train, and none of the stops fucking correlate with anything. It's diverging fucking. You think a train only goes one way, and then it turns out it's like 10, 15, 20 different ways. It's actually more complicated than you think. You ever see like a train simulator thing? And it's actually a lot more. It's not as easy as it looks. As much as we'd like to think trains can't go off the rails, they typically do. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was telling that brief story about the game and shit, and yeah, I got it delivered because I remember, you know, many moons ago, you know, it came from Thailand. This game, Requiem. It's just like a religious thing. It means, what's it mean again? Like, worship the dead. But I'm not here to worship any dead. I don't care for the dead, you know what I mean? Anything that's dead, I particularly don't, like, have an affinity for. Like, especially those guys, you know, that, you know, dig up somebody's corpse and do something with it, you know? Some filthy act. Horrible. Absolutely deplorable behavior from a human being. You hope that fucker gets haunted by ghosts or something, and then he gets harassed the same way in the afterlife, if there is one. But let's turn off this train music. We got smiles going around, people are smiling because they like shit. I need to explain myself. So this picture has it's not sentimental to me, but it might be sentimental to you. That's the one of the previous Ayatollahs, and interesting little factoid. You like factoids, don't you? Little thing is, you see that guy in the picture frame behind him? That is not George Clooney. Like, there was this Irish lady, and she left a comment, like, and I remember it. It was this picture. She goes, he's not even fucking he doesn't even look like George Clooney. And I'm just like, who said he looked like George Clooney anyway? Look, if you're the fucking leader of a tyrannical fucking regime, do you really want to argue with him and say you don't look like George fucking Clooney? I'd be fucking there every day. You'd be like, here, did you get the intel on the American intelligence? Like, yes, sir, I did. And also, do I kind of look like fucking George Clooney? And then I'd be like, yes, you're the spitting image. In fact, why not put a picture of him with your beard in a picture frame behind you, and that's who we'll say you look like. And that lady, I'll never forget her name. What's her name? It's gonna come to me eventually. Maybe like that saying I forgot. Oh well. Such is life. You can't remember everything. But one morbid thing. Because we can't always be positive, you know. This game has death. You like death? A lot of death in this game. If no one could die, that would be beautiful, but we don't live in that type of world. We live in a world of decay and, what's the word? Fucking corruption or something? Lots of corruption and greed and evil, seething, like teeming evil. Yeah. I don't want to get too loud. One morbid thing I'll say, because I don't want to make people sad. I saw someone like died, right? And then on their obituary, someone left a comment, you know, that was clearly written by a robot. It was clearly written by like Chat GPT, you know? Just when you thought, how could we become less genuine? Like, I know people say a load of fake shit when someone dies, but really? Chat GPT? Look, when I die, is it going to be flooded with fucking bots? You know, just flood it with bots. Why do I care? It's not like I have an opinion. But if you don't like me now, you'll love me even more when I'm dead. I think that's how it usually goes. But let's not. We're delaying too much. But we got this fine the horror game. Start it. Requiem. This is a beautiful game, and I didn't download it off the internet. It came pre-packaged, and it really looks so amazing. Like, look at that. It's the FBI Midwest Field Office. That guy looks like the spit of fucking Bill Clinton. He's in hot water at the moment. He's not doing it too well. But at one point in my life, I thought he was an admirable fucking man. Especially when I was like 10. Because, you know, when you're a child, you're like naive. You think every president is like a good guy and stuff. And it turns out, unbeknownst to me, he was doing a lot of filthy fucking stuff, under the table. You know? Turns out he wasn't he was a silver-tongued devil, all right. But, you just assume, when you're young, you think the president, he can't do no wrong. He can't do any great evil. He's like a patriotic, he's a leader of one of the biggest countries in the world, Like my whole life I was told, the Americans are the forefront of, liberty and fucking, I don't know, all that shit. Good stuff, the American dream, as they say. Well, the American reality is quite different, I realize now, than the American dream. So, an aspect, I like to say aspect, a thing about it is that, when I was a child, I said, when I grow up, I want to be exactly like Bill Clinton. Oh my God. I didn't know he did all that other stuff, you know what I mean? At the time, I thought he could only be a good guy, you know what I mean? And then, you think about that with every other president that's ever been a president, you know what I mean? Because, look at it like Obama, first black president, couldn't do wrong. And you're like, wow, he's cool. I like him. He's a cool president. And then what child would be around saying, I want to be Lyndon B. Johnson? Let's be real here. And here's the thing. With Trump, with Donald Trump, just for that's the orange one. The orange president, as people call him. Not the one who oversaw Agent Orange or any of that shit. But, you might hear some children go, when I grow up, I want to be like Donald Trump. And then you have other kids that go, oh, you don't want to be that fucking orange guy, do you? The most he's charismatic, I'll give you that, but, my parents don't like him and I don't like him. And then you have always some other side like, yeah, well, I think he's a fine man and he can't do no wrong. I love the guy. So you got people on one side who love him and people hate him on the other side. And then there's other people, that exist in the middle, my type of people. They don't know enough. But here's the thing about that, is that I guess there is a point to mentioning these, is every bad word you can think of. Like if you think of the dictionary, I feel like every negative, every worse word you could say about him has been said. And Yeah, look at that. It's like real life New York. It's amazing. But well, my camera doesn't work today. I'm sorry. I was trying to get my camera to work and it wasn't fucking working. I think her name is Grace or something. That's rude. That's the guy from my story. I'm writing a story on that guy. No, I'm not. But what was I trying to say? Like, if you can think of any negative word in that's ever been said, it's probably been said against the president. I was just so overwhelmed with emotion. I just had to exclaim it. Just hold on a sec. Just hold on a sec. I have to. It's amazing. So what was I saying? Yes, the president. Yeah, it's hard to keep up playing such a magnificent, like state-of-the-art, like brand new PS5 title. It's fucking 5 years old, and it finally got a good game on it. But that's not what I'm talking about. But isn't it interesting how like things have changed? Like years ago, it'd be like presidents can't do wrong. Like everyone loves their president. Whereas nowadays, people are divided, I couldn't find any more division in the times we live of the social media age, where everyone's connected and everyone has like an opinion on everything. And what I've realized is you don't even have to know everything, because if you're wrong, you can just, you don't have to say you're wrong. You just keep on making up more shit and just keep going, It used to be you had to know things, whereas now, everybody's equal. Everybody has the computer, and computers can't be wrong. You know what I mean? I already spoke about this about robots and AI. I don't want to talk about the AI robots again. We're sick of that. I want to get onto the new pressing issues like the workers' rights and the civil rights movement. That's what people care about, isn't it? That's what I'm here for. But in terms of like presidents and stuff, the one I wouldn't want to say when I grow up I want to be like is probably like John F. Kennedy or Abraham Lincoln. And like here's the thing about that, right? So I was watching this award show, and it had Harrison Ford on it, and he got a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he's like 86 or whatever. And he was even like saying himself, like, how could they give me the Lifetime Achievement Award if I'm halfway through? I'm only halfway through my life, for God's sake. And I was, thanking like George Lucas and all that kind of stuff. But look, he's been given his award. He thinks his life is over. But he's still like a working actor at like 86. But he sounds and he looks like fucking Abraham Lincoln. And then like you look at Abraham Lincoln, right? He was like 216 when he died, and I thought that was fucking old. When I was 10, I'd be like, wow, he's 56 years old. He's on the brink of death. Whereas if someone like 85-year-old dies, go, he was only a child. He was only a kid. He was only a kid. But Abraham Lincoln was 56, and Harrison Ford at 86 looks much, much more like the same age as Abraham Lincoln did when he got... What I'm trying to say is, why would you want to be like something that, you have to be something wrong with you in the head to want to be one of like those presidents, you know what I mean? If it was my choice to pick which president I'd most likely want to be like, I would have to be Jimmy Carter, the peanut president. Not because, he's 100 years old and he builds like sheds and stuff for people, nice houses, but because who would want to be an old guy eating peanuts all day anyway? You're just being 100 years old eating your peanuts, and that's what you'll be remembered for years and years to come. Whereas, speaking of presidents, like, here's a thing. How people are saying, like conspiracy theorists, they don't have it good. Before I do that, I forgot to put on my webcam. There you go. You know, people say Jim Carrey's an alien for some reason. But it used to be like, you know, with conspiracy theories, you know, some people believe in one like to be like a fun one would be like Bigfoot, you know, he's this guy and he's there and he's moving his arms, he's swinging his arms from side to side, you know, and we don't even know what he's up to. He just likes to scurry off in the distance when someone gets a camera, you know what I mean? And all the images are, for whatever reason, he's eluded people for like over 50 years, you know what I mean? He's just this mythologicalized character, you know what I mean? Like, and what's he running from? Like, if you think about it, like the most high definition cameras to ever grace, pardon the pun, but ever grace humanity, you know what I mean? Not one clear video or, you know, there's no tracking, you can't even find the guy. But once they eventually find Bigfoot, you know, the mystery will be gone, and people don't like that. It's just like a fun thing, you know what I mean? And, you know, there's something I have in common with a conspiracy theorist, you know? People think it's a bad thing to have something in common with them, but here's what I will say. Both me and this guy, I know he is a conspiracy theorist, and for some reason or other, we both can't believe that a man landed on the moon. I mean, we both say it for different reasons. Like, I can't believe because, like, he actually put, like, a guy on the moon, you know what I mean? And, whatever they were doing up there, they were taking photos, and they were doing all sorts of fun stuff with the lunar lander or something. The little buggy or something, too. They're just having a ball of fun, you know, up on the moon. And, whereas the other guy doesn't believe it. I guess we just come from different worlds or something. But, you know, he has his beliefs and I have my beliefs, but some of his are like less fun, you know. He's like, I believe, like, he doesn't believe the Holocaust happened, and also the ice walls, and it's another, and there's aliens, and, well, nah, that's a fun one. But, you know, he believes in all the, like, less fun ones, like the drug companies are out to get him and all that sort of stuff. But the ones I really like, though, are the ones where they combine the good ideas and the bad ideas into one kind of, not cohesive, but some sort of connective fucking tissue or something. What? Oh, some stupid fucking... But anyway, some people are like, did you know George Bush, you know, he's an alien that lives underneath the pyramids? And also, Bigfoot's fucking running outside out of there, you know, he's just running around. Like, you gotta love some of those, you know, conspiracy theories. But here's the thing about conspiracy, you know, theories. Like, people are saying that all the ones that they thought were fake are actually fucking real. And then you start questioning everything, and you start, you know, becoming... Because if you start thinking, you know, the world's crazy, you know, people say, oh, everything's crazy right now. If you try to understand crazy, you know, you become, like, kind of crazy yourself, you know what I mean? Just talking and talking to yourself. But, what was I trying to say is, if everything's crazy, then fucking everything's normal. You know that song, like, Ordinary World? You know? It's a fucking very extraordinary world that we live in, you know what I mean? Where you can have all the information and all the knowledge, you know? And for some reason or another, it's a good bad time to be a conspiracy theorist. Because, what, you believe in all of them? You believe everything's just a big fucking conspiracy out to get you? It's just ridiculous, you know? But no matter what shit someone believes, you know, you gotta respect their opinion. Like, even if it's completely wrong. Like, and if everyone's wrong, and the AI, you know, the robots learn from us, then fucking nothing's right. You know what I mean? What are we gonna do? Here's some trivia, though. A factoid. See, it's a fact and oid. They combine them. It means it's more useless. Remember the Sarah and Vinny radio show was hosted by Sarah and Vinny. until Vinny got fired for alcoholism. In which case, a new DJ came around, and his name was No Name. So you can already see like Sarah and No Name. Like, ain't exactly the best name for like a radio show. So then 6 years later, Vinny comes back and they boot No Name. They get rid of No Name. It's a bit like when, Buckethead took over for Guns N' Roses. Just like a chicken bucket fucking guitarist. It's supposed to be better than Slash. Like, look at that putrid shit in the fucking toilet. I don't want to look at that. Let me take your mind somewhere that's less vile, less disgusting. So then after a while, they switched to radio.com, LGBG, the community, the LBG community talk, an EDM dance format. They branded it as Out Now. And then they rebranded it as Channel Q. So after a while, the radio turned gay. After doing that, you think they broadcast their gaydar nationwide? Is that how fucking gaydar works? I don't know. But I think we've lost track of my important points I wanted to fucking make, my poignant points. Do. Oh yeah. So by the way, all of the movies, the modern films. So I go to the pictures, and all the posters for whatever reason, like adorned on the walls, like Hamlet and the Beatles, MJ, Michael Jackson. We in some Shakespearean time? It's all fucking old. Whereas before, when I was growing up, it was like space and cartoons and shit. The future is bleak. Bleaker than blacked out windows like of a pimp's limo. But here's a little thing I heard. It was the Australians, right? And they have kangaroos and stuff. Well, apparently, like on average, they have like 1,000 kangaroos that are hit by cars, year round. And people think that's like tragic and that, but over there they eat them. They see them as like a pest. And I don't want anybody to hop to any conclusions or anything about what the Australians think, but it was this American guy, and he goes, we won't need our national animal like the bald eagle, why would them Australians just eating their national animal? That, that's not good. That is just deplorable behavior, And meanwhile, it's very hard to like run over a bald eagle and eat it. You know what I mean? But here's you want something modern? I don't want to talk about fucking ancient shit. People only want to talk about what's currently going on in the world, and I'm sick to death of that controversy. The controversy at the moment. Doesn't matter which controversy it is. I mean, it's going to become old news by tomorrow anyway. But those lookers, the maxers. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, it sounds like a cult. Well, anyway, their leader, Clavicle, is that his name? Well, anyway, what they do to make themselves more handsome, because looks could kill, people like that. Ugh. It's a garish colors on that. But people think the way you look determines life. The better you look, the more I don't fucking know everything, but looks are the most important currency in the world. But what was I trying to say is so what they're doing is they take a hammer and then they just go to town, like not on their cock, but like up top. But if I were to do that, I'd be there for fucking days. Like, I don't know if a fucking hammer is gonna fix this mess, but appearances can be deceiving, and also people fucking care about people seem to really super care, especially if you're a celebrity and you change your face, because you make a public appearance and you look like a melted candle or something, or you start to look like like Simon Cowell. You know, you think looks don't matter, and then you're famous, and you can't even show up to your celebrity parties anymore because you look like that. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Well, I saw a program. You know, that's what Tony Soprano says, right? Well, I saw this TV program, and in it they said we promoted diversity in schools 20 years ago. And then you remember back then and everybody was white. Like you couldn't be, I remember, you couldn't be Islamophobic, you know, back then because you didn't even know what or who or what they were, you know? But then, you know, a plane, you know, it went into a building and then everybody knew. Suddenly. It was those guys there, the Middle East. Someplace way over fucking there. I don't fucking know where it is. Where's the Middle East? I just said they had weapons. Weapons of mass destruction. That's what it was. Yep. And then, remember Ahmed? They had Ahmed, the dead terrorist. You know, Jeff Dunham, you know, the puppeteer. You know, I call him a ventriloquist. You call him a puppeteer. It's more delicate art than you think. But, he had a puppet act with an already dead terrorist, which is much less frightening than a real one. So really, if you think about it, we were tricked. Then you had the not so popular puppet, you know, Walter, the retired grumpy man. I wonder if he's retired that one too. But we had all these games like Call of Duty, you know. Just people, like, you had one side, the good guys, America, right? And then the bad guys, who were the Muslims with the clots on their head and stuff. We didn't know that they were called Muslims. We just called them guys with clots in their head. And they say, you know, God is greatest in their whatever their accent is. And then we thought that was really bad. When really, you know, they're the same as everybody else. Whereas like now everyone is afraid, you know, people are terrified, you know, to be Islamophobic, like deathly terrified. You know those like really proud, like outspoken atheists? There is no God. I have not read any of those scriptures, but I know it's all fucking horse shit. It's hogwash. It's not real. It's like the Tooth Fairy, you know? They get a little mawkish, you know, a little sheepish when where, you know, when it comes to different religion, you know, because for whatever reason, you know, you don't want to be Islamophobic, you know, like, is there an Allah? I don't know who Allah is, but you know, sure, let's go with that. You know, I think it's written somewhere in like the atheist creed, you know, be respectful of that one religion. Islam is the one true religion. Isn't it, like, it's kind of mad, you know, that you can say, I hate everybody, you know, I fucking hate everyone equally, and people will agree with you, you know? It's like, oh, isn't that so true, Jim? Yeah, I fucking hate, don't you hate people sometimes? Yeah, I fucking hate them a lot. But anyway, what about that certain group of people over there? And you're like, oh, I don't know about that now. I don't know if I can agree with that stuff, Jim. I know I said earlier I hated everybody, but actually I kind of love some people, you know what I mean? But it's only when you get kind of specific, you know, that it's bad. You know who I'm talking about. You know, the word racist has like ceased to like mean anything, you know what I mean? And let me give you an example, because the worst thing in the world to be called is like a racist, and I disagree. There's far worse things, you know, you can be called. But I think it's far worse to be the victim of racism than it is to be the racist. It's actually, some people say it's fun to be a racist, you know, it kind of is and it isn't. But what was I trying to say is, I feel like the word gets tossed around, like, you know, so freely, you know what I mean? But, you know, when it comes to like racism, for some reason or another, you know, for some reason, yeah, for whatever reason, Super racist people like know super specific kind of things about other cultures, and you never heard of, you know, and somehow the non-racist person knows nothing about it. Like, for example, there be like something happening, and they go, "What's this after happening? Who stole that bike over there?" And then if you go, "It's a person of color. It's people of color. You know, I don't know what color they were. Just a person of color stole that bike." And then it's like, that's not very helpful. Like, what were they, fucking blue? But whereas a racist, like, he can tell you, just like, you know, it's one of them Puerto Ricans I saw do it, you know? Like, they even know how to pronounce it properly and everything. They somehow know more than these so-called, you know, progressive, you know, people, you know what I mean? That you meet. But, like, I have a friend, he's black, and he said to me, you know, because it's like people of color, you know, POC, and then he goes to me, "You are a POS," and I go, "What's that?" "A piece of shit." He goes, "Yeah, it's a piece of shit." So that's what he said. But you know, I don't like you can not like a lot of people. Like I don't like most brown people. Certainly don't like most black people. Don't like a lot of Asian people. Certainly don't like most white people. There's only a handful of people I actually truly fucking like, you know? But you say someone's racist, and you know, that can ruin their life. You know, when in reality it's not true, and you know, people just take you on faith. You know, for anyone else it's quite easy, because you know, for other people, you know, say they don't see race or color, and then they go, "Who's that over there?" "Oh, that's John the racist." You know, like the word racist has just become synonymous with white. It's just like pointless, you know, to say the word, you know, at all. It absolutely means no meaning at all. Do you know what I mean? Because anybody can be racist. It's not exclusive. It's not exclusive to one. I mean, white people have the most experience. Let's be fucking honest. If there's anybody who's the experts of racism, it would be you know, the white people. But here's the thing, I am not white. I know that might be shocking to some, you know, but really, if you think about it, I'm more of a pinkish kind of blotchy, kind of creamy looking, like a see-through jellyfish. You know, that's what really, if you want to be really specific about it, I'm not exactly white, you know? But I feel like most people you meet who are racist, you know, they don't say it. They'll just go, "I'm not racist." When clearly, you know, you can tell that they are, you know? I myself am a raging racist. I am not. I actually am not. But now you don't know what to think. You know what I mean? But that's how where we're at. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. I fucking lost. I need to get back into this game world. You know, it's so captivating and so cutting edge. You know what I mean? Yeah, you always gotta keep your eyes on the prize, whatever the fuck that means. But I'm here to be, for you know, lack of a better word, terrified. You know what I mean? It's so captivating, this game. You know. Let's find what did Alicia had? Alicia Keys? I think that's what it was. Alicia Keys. Look at that dirty bathtub. But here's the thing, another thing before my brain turns off. But don't you hate you'll be like a party, and someone will go, "Hey, I know we're all, you know, having fun, you know, at this party and that. I can see that you're enjoying your drink, you know, having a good time. But who's all why don't we play a board game?" And, you know, I know listen, you got to shut the fuck up and you got to listen to the rules, you know. So now you're held, you know, captive, you know, you didn't sign up to it or anything. And they're like, now you got to pay strict attention to these rules because it's like 100 rules. and it already stops being fun, you know? It just starts feeling more and more like work, you know? Like somehow, what was supposed to be a party is like turned like super serious. Like I just want to eat food. Like thinking is for when I need to get the food or what to get. It's not for having, you know, doing these fucking jumps of logic, you know, to pretend that we're having fun, you know? You know, then when they get bored of, like, you know, the whole charade, they hand the pieces in, like, the box and say, all right, we're done, put that away. Like it was your idea. Like, they have me doing work, you know, over at their place. Like, I didn't sign up, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I was just here for the food, you know? I wasn't here to talk. That's the least thing I like to go to parties for, is to talk, you know? The reason I go to parties is for the food. And, like, I wouldn't lure someone over to a secluded and vulnerable place in my house and then stab them in the back and drag them someplace else and then tell them to clean it up. It's just wrong, you know? Well, you see, it's wrong, you know, to stab them in the back. Really, you should be asking them first if they want to become like a puzzle for someone later, you know? That's a real puzzler there. Or better yet, like, talk about work. What do you do when you're not here? In this party setting, huh? You know, you could be a murderer or like a postman. I'm not really sure what you are. But you want to talk about politics or religion? Let's talk about super serious things at this party. I think this is a great setting for it. Turn that music down. I can't hear the important thing being said. You know what I mean? But trying to move more and more away from that, you know? And, like, because I thought this was like a party. But then those celebrity parties, you know what I mean? Never turns out well. You expect they're eating babies or some ritual shit, you know, oil, you know, dead people. And then you turn up and they offer you to play a like a board game. You probably play that board game. Because, and also they know what the food is. They were eating babies. They were eating fucking babies, you know? Anyway. What was I going to say? I think it's time to fucking take these keys and fucking get out of this joint. You know, get the fuck out of here. While the going still, the going gets tough, the going gets going. Usually at a party, you know, I'll just get my keys and fucking leave early anyway. Don't want to linger around till things turn sour. And then people are biting each other and people are trying to kill, you know, one another. That's the least, you know, of my my worries, you know what I mean? But where did we go wrong, you know? An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, is what I'm told. Watch your arm, you don't want to get your fucking arm chewed. Chewing arms is fucking wrong. Look, I'm against many causes, and chewing arms is one of them. Like, that's one of my if you check my website, that's one of my my things I'm against. If you want to see my policy on that. But if someone attacks you, you're in your own home, you're entitled to attack them with a shard of glass, I think. I think that's what it is. Well, hopefully she can, you know, get some answers and some fucking well-needed rest to do with that black ooze. You know, that black ooze. But back on the whole race thing, I don't want to leave a sour thing in people's mouth. I mean, unless you're fucking taking somebody's fucking jizz, you know. You ever think, you know, race and color, you know, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. You know, we all matter and don't matter in some, you know, respects. Some matter a bit more than others for some reason, especially celebrities. Like when a celebrity kind of kicks the bucket or dies, you know, my instinct isn't, oh no, the celebrity died and the world has lost another great soul. Or the world has lost a magnificent artist, singer, and they list all that stuff. And But how'd they fucking lose them? They're in the fucking earth. You know what I mean? But I rush to the Wikipedia page and I go down to what killed them, and then usually, you know, it's something tragic or something. But whenever it's you know, drink or drugs, then I breathe a sigh of relief. Like, I don't do that. I'm going to live forever, you know? That's what I'm told, you know? If you don't drink and you don't do drugs, you're immortal. That's exactly it. But, yeah, I made a promise at the earlier part of this fucking fiasco not to talk about that. Where was I talking about? Race. I didn't want to be talking about this, but, you know, like with a blind person, you know, they can't tell or, you know, care, you know, what race you are or color. Like, because to them, everything is black. Except, you know, they have that, like, invisible touch. So, you know, they you know, feel the same way as you and me do, but they don't have that extra thing about it where, you know, these, like, superficial details and history that, you know, happened, you know, what's in the past happened and how people have done you wrong and all that stuff. It doesn't matter, you know, to somebody like that, but, you know, they have the invisible touch. So they, like, feel around and, yep, that's a cock. Doesn't matter if, you know, you're gay, straight, trans, gender, or whatever, you know. They know. But, you know, tell me about the color of your soul. Scatman John, you know, one of the most profound singers, you know, ever to grace the world, you know. And most of the time he's fucking going, you know, I'd rather listen to him than any fucking artist preaching anything, you know. Yeah, hush, go to bed. But here's the thing about pity, you know, empathy and all that. You ever see someone desperately pushing a cart, like, up a hill? And, you know, you feel sorry for them. Excuse me. And some will go, "Ah, God help them. If only God himself could come down in earthly form and help that one poor soul, I'd feel at ease," you know? But, you know, think about it. If fucking God, the big being upstairs himself, I don't know, people call him the invisible man in the sky, I call him God. I don't know if he's real or not, or his intentions are good, but I believe him. If God were to help them, and people knew he did everything, you know, or he did everybody a favor, you know what I mean? People be asking, you know, God help me, you know, do this for me. Just never-ending requests, like, hey God, listen, where's my miracle? You know, I know you turned fucking Bill's fucking water into wine and you gave us the free bread and the fish. I'm much more wondering when it's my fucking turn, you know? I know he cured them lepers, but I have a sore back and I've been, you know, really putting pasture in these fucking rice fields, man. I don't know how there's rice fields in fucking Jerusalem, but I guess there is. But, you know, there'd be, like, if you got everything you ever wanted, like, there's no struggle or end. There'd be no point in living, you know, if it was all good. You know, so there's some things are bad and some things are good. You know, there has to be a balance, you know what I mean? So, I understand where he's coming from when someone asks for, you know, proof, you know? You know how atheists want proof and scientists want proof? It's like, did you actually do that? Or, you know, it's just never enough, you know? But, like, if he came down and helped everybody all the time, you know, absolute divine proof he was there, you know what I mean? There'd be no point. Whereas, you know, he did his few couple of miracles and then he skived off. Like, all there is has been endless problems, you know? And who the fuck makes the problems? Who do you think makes the problems except us? At least a lot of them. But, I don't know what I was trying to say. But he made everything, you know what I mean? And then you have fuckers go, I don't even like apples. You know, but then, you know, the big man, you know, the guy sends his son and he tells you what to do and how to stop fighting and get to live forever. And he dies for your sins. And people go, well, I get to eat chocolate Easter eggs and rabbits. You know, cool. You know, thanks, Jesus. If only Jesus could help these fucking guys now. Fucking Walking Dead living among us zombies. But I guess it's just never enough, you know? You can absolutely have everything that ever was, you know? That's what life is. You see everything, you feel things, you know? You feel, you breathe, and you love, you know what I mean? And that's what we truly have at the end of it, you know what I mean? Because all you really have is your memory, if you're lucky. And you just got the things in front of you, things that are real. I have a glass of water in front of me, you know what I mean? You can't live in the past, you can't live in the future, but unfortunately, you know, we live in the fucking present. And it's that intersection of, you know, all those things come together in what we call the present. But people can't stop talking about the past. People can't stop worrying about the future. And I guess this is the end of me here in the present. So I'm going to consider this live gameplay stream as my present to you. Whether that's now or 10 years or 100 years or a billion years, as long as the fucking format exists. You know, I don't care if I'm long forgotten, you know what I mean? People say, if people fear the first death is the scariest, you know what I mean? Or no, they say the second death, when someone says your name for the very last time, is the scariest. For me, it'd be the fucking first death, you know? You live life in fucking hardcore mode, man. But someday we'll come back to the old Resident Evil Requiem, which will be you know, we'll lay waste to it, you know what I mean? But sorry about my webcam not working today. But really, who wants? I don't want people to make fucking AI porn of me. That's why I don't have my webcam on. Right, have a good day or night or whatever. Stay